For the first year after Marcus retired, he waited. He waited to feel the way retirement looked in the brochures. The couple on the beach, the golf cart at sunrise, the grandchildren running across a perfectly manicured lawn. He waited for the version of retirement he had been sold his entire working life. It never came. What came instead was quieter, smaller, and, once he stopped waiting for the wrong thing, so much better than the brochure ever promised. Marcus spent 36 years as a high school principal. He was not someone who did anything halfway. When he retired, his plan was simple: do everything he never had time for. Travel, golf, sleep past 6 a.m., and he did those things. But somewhere around month 4, he noticed something. The travel was wonderful, but it ended. The golf was enjoyable, but it wasn't enough. The sleeping in felt indulgent for about 2 weeks, and then just felt like lost time. He called his brother one evening and said something that surprised even himself. "I think I've been doing retirement wrong." His brother laughed. "What does doing retirement wrong even mean?" Marcus didn't have an answer yet, but he knew he was onto something. Here's what most people get wrong about thriving in retirement. They think thriving looks like vacation. Permanent, endless, deserved vacation. And vacation is wonderful. For a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month. But vacation is designed to be a break from something. When there is nothing to take a break from, vacation stops feeling like freedom and starts feeling like drifting. The research on retirement well-being is consistent and clear on this point. The people who thrive in retirement are not the ones who rest the most. They are the ones who find new reasons to engage, new reasons to show up somewhere, new reasons to use what they know, new reasons to be part of something larger than their own comfort. Thriving is not the absence of work. It is the presence of meaning. And meaning, it turns out, looks nothing like a brochure. There are 4 things the research consistently identifies in people who genuinely thrive after retirement. Not people who survive it, not people who cope with it. People who look back after 5 years and say, "This is the best chapter of my life." The first is engagement over leisure. This is the one that surprises people most. Study after study on retirement satisfaction shows that people who fill their time primarily with leisure, travel, golf, television, passive relaxation, report lower life satisfaction than people who fill their time with engagement. Engagement means something that requires your presence, your attention, your effort. A volunteer role, a creative project, a part-time pursuit, a mentoring relationship, anything that asks something of you. Leisure is necessary, but it cannot be the whole answer. The second is social investment. Loneliness in retirement is not just uncomfortable, it is genuinely dangerous. Research from Harvard's longest-running study on adult development found that the quality of a person's relationships is the single strongest predictor of happiness and health in later life. Not wealth, not status, not even physical health. Relationships. The people who thrive invest deliberately in their social world. They join things. They initiate contact. They show up consistently for the people who matter to them. They don't wait for connection to happen. They build it. The third is physical vitality. Not marathon running, not extreme fitness. Just consistent movement that keeps the body feeling capable and alive. Walk every day. Swim twice a week. Tend a garden. Take a dance class. The specific activity matters far less than the consistency. The body that moves regularly tells the brain that life is still happening, and the brain responds accordingly. The fourth is contribution. This is the one Marcus was missing. Not busyness, not productivity for its own sake. The specific feeling that what you do today made a difference to someone other than yourself. That you are still useful, still needed, still leaving something behind when you walk out of a room. Marcus found his contribution in the most obvious place, the place he had spent 36 years. He started mentoring first-year teachers at his old school. One morning a week, no salary, no title, just an old principal sitting across from a young teacher who didn't know yet how to handle a classroom full of teenagers who had given up on themselves. He wasn't saving anyone. He was just passing something on. And that, it turned out, was exactly what thriving felt like for Marcus. Not the beach, not the golf cart, not the brochure. Just a young teacher looking across a table and saying, "That actually helped. Thank you." Here's what I want you to hear if you are still waiting for retirement to feel the way you imagined it would. The brochure lied. Not maliciously, but it sold you an image of retirement as pure rest, and pure rest is not what human beings are built for. You were built to contribute. You were built to connect. You were built to move through the world engaged with it, not just observing it from a comfortable distance. Thriving in retirement does not mean going back to the pace you kept for 40 years. It means finding the right size version of engagement for this season. Smaller, perhaps, quieter, certainly, on your own terms completely, but real and present and yours. Marcus still travels. He still plays golf badly and enjoys it anyway. He still sleeps past 6 a.m. on Saturdays. But on Tuesday mornings, he drives to his old school. He sits across from a young teacher who is struggling with something he has already survived. And he offers what 36 years taught him, freely, without agenda, just because he can. He told his brother recently that he finally figured out what he got wrong in year one. He was trying to stop. When what thriving actually required was finding a new way to keep going. If this is where you are right now, still searching for what thriving looks like for you, know that it probably looks nothing like what you expected. It is probably smaller than you imagined, and more ordinary, and more meaningful because of both. Leave a comment and tell us, what does thriving look like for you right now? We read every single one.